guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, hi, thanks so much for joining. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another video. Stay a while, join our little family. I'm so excited because I've never done one of these videos before, but I'm gonna take you guys through an entire week of workouts. So you get to see my current training split. I train 5 days a week with 2 rest days. And as you know, I'm a wellness competitor, so a lot of my training is focused around my leg development. So we do 3 lower body sessions and 2 upper body sessions per week. I'm so excited to bring you guys with me, so let's get into it. Starting off Monday strong with a quad and glute focused workout. This is my favorite way to start the week because I think my quad and glute focused workout is the hardest workout I have of the entire week. Honestly, all of my leg days are really hard, but I think quads and glutes is the hardest for me because my quads are the muscle that I need to bring up the most. Also with quads, I think you're just able to push more weight in general. We're starting off this workout with some seated leg curls. Now I know you're probably thinking, why is she starting off with hamstring curls if it's a quad focused workout? I like to start with these because I feel like it helps my knees. Ever since incorporating more quad training, I feel like my knees have definitely taken a beating. Doing hamstrings prior to my heavy pressing movements like we're gonna go into has really helped just kind of like get the blood flowing, activate my legs. Doing 3 sets of 10 to 12. Make sure you're keeping your back pressed against this pad the entire time. Sometimes if we go too heavy, we'll compensate by arching our back. The bane of my existence, pendulum squats. I have such a love-hate relationship with this exercise. It is so humbling for no reason. It looks like it would be kind of fun, right? Like it looks like a giant swing. It hurts. But in all seriousness, if your gym does have one of these and you're trying to grow your quads, I highly recommend trying it out. It has a great resistance profile for the quads, and overall it's just a really good exercise. I'm doing 2 working sets total, a top set of 10 to 12, which is gonna be like my heaviest weight. Then I'm gonna drop that weight for a back off set of like 15 or so. But remember, I am going to failure on these, so these numbers are just kind of ranges. If I can do more, I will do more. I have the knees of a 90-year-old, so I have knee sleeves on. I'm nervous.
Let's fucking go. Yo, you got 13 with 2 1/4. You can get this for a good 8. She don't know it. She's gonna get 10. Up! Hell yeah, come on. Another one. Up! Hell yeah, come on. Go! One more, come on, one more. Up! Hell yeah, lock it out. Yo, give me some.
I have another one.
Shake my head. One bitch lifts more than most men.
I'm not sure how those look. They felt really heavy. Last week I got 13 with 2 1/4. So I went up to 3 plates this time and got 10. So I'll probably stay there for a little bit until I can get 12 with this weight. And then we go up. Moving on to the single leg press. If your gym doesn't have a single leg press machine, you can use a regular leg press, but just single leg. I'm doing 3 sets of 12 here. We want to keep a lower foot placement on the platform, as low as your knees comfortably allow you to go. That's going to allow for more knee flexion and therefore bias the quads more. We're gonna finish off the quad portion of this workout with leg extensions. The goal for me here is to feel them in the belly of my quads. So what I'm gonna do is actually put the seat further back so that I'm not as upright. I'm actually leaning back a little bit more, and that's gonna lengthen my quads out a bit and allow me to get a deeper stretch. 3 sets of 15. We finished up our quad portion of our quad and glute workout, and now we're just gonna hit 1 exercise for the glutes. I'm doing glute focused hyperextensions, 3 sets of 15. My gym has this handy dandy little booty builder machine for my hyperextensions, but if you don't have this, you can use a regular 45-degree hyper. I'm doing higher rep here, so 3 sets of 15. I had the hardest time feeling these in my glutes, but the 3 main cues that help me turn this into one of my favorite glute exercises: 1, you're gonna have your toes pointed outward. 2, you're gonna keep your upper back slightly rounded. And 3, you're gonna kind of treat this like a hip thrust, which I think is one of the most important important cues. On your way up at the very, very top, you're gonna focus on pushing your hips into this pad, not just squeezing your butt at the top, but actually physically hip thrusting into this pad. The way up, we are pushing our hips, driving our hips into the pad, squeezing our glutes, and back down. I like to think of the downward portion as kind of like a hinge, even though my lower body is pretty stationary in this machine. And then I'm just gonna end with some calves. I'm doing 3 sets of 10 to 12. I'm just gonna do them on this leg press because it's the only thing that's open. It's Tuesday, so that means we're hitting some upper body. I'm doing a full upper body workout today, so I'm hitting a little bit of everything. In all honesty, I probably should not be doing this exercise. I'm not a power lifter, and there's not really much benefit to me barbell benching in terms of my current physique goals, but it's just a lot of fun. So we're gonna start off benching. Sometimes you just gotta grip it and rip it, you know? Just got done with my warm-up sets, and now we're at my working weight. We're gonna do 3 sets at this weight, see what we can do. 3 sets of 5 to 8 reps. So we're going a little bit higher weight, lower rep here. Next up, we're hitting some back, so I'm gonna do some lat pull downs, 3 sets of 10 to 12. This is a little hack for all my short girlies out there. Pull down the handle to a good height, and then you'll pick your weight. And it's at a good starting height where you don't feel the need to stand on the bench to get it. My biggest cue for these is to pretend like you're driving your elbows to your armpits. Moving into some shoulders. We're actually gonna do 2 shoulder exercises. So the first one is gonna be just a dumbbell shoulder press. I'm doing 3 sets of 12 to 15. With these, we wanna make sure that we're not coming down too low. We wanna stop at about 90 degrees. And I also like to have my elbows a little bit more in at a 45-degree angle instead of straight out, just because it's a little less pressure on the shoulder joint. This position is a little more natural for the shoulder joint. Last exercise for the shoulders. Now my gym has this little fancy dancy machine, but if your gym doesn't, you can feel free to use dumbbells or a cable. Equally as good options. We're gonna finish off with some arms. So I'm doing 1 bicep and 1 tricep exercise. I'm gonna do them both on the cable. On Wednesdays, we do glutes and hams. So we're gonna start off this glute and hamstring focused workout with some abductions. So your gym may not have this abduction machine. I love this one because I think it hits the glute med a little bit more. It does both abduction and hip extension, which are the primary movements that your glutes are responsible for. So instead of just going straight out into abduction, it also kind of goes out and back. If your gym doesn't have one of these, no worries, you can use a regular abduction machine. We're doing 3 sets of 15 to 20. Our main compound exercise is gonna be Smith machine hip thrust. You can do these with a barbell, you can do these with a machine if you want. I just like the Smith machine because I like the controlled bar path. Sometimes I feel like I'm able to just focus on my glutes a little bit more. I'm gonna do 2 sets at a heavier weight for 10-ish, and then I'm gonna drop the weight for a back off set of 15. We are going heavier for the first 2 sets, but make sure that you're still able to reach full hip extension at the top with the weight that you choose. We don't wanna overload this so much that we take that away, because that's where your glutes are gonna be doing the work, is at the very top of the movement. And if you can't get full hip extension, you can't get to the top, then you're just kind of cheating yourself. A fan favorite. We're doing some Bulgarian split squats. Some bulgies, if you will. Good news is, We're only doing 2 sets. Bad news is they suck just as much. Doing 2 sets of 12 to 15. I'm doing Smith machine. You can choose whatever torture device you want to use. And we're doing these glute focused. So when you're doing a glute focused Bulgarian, you want to picture yourself like an escalator, whereas if you're doing a quad focused Bulgarian, you're more like an elevator. The glute focused, we're going to be kind of like going backwards like an escalator, like at an incline. We're going to have our foot further out in front of us, and we're going to sink back into that hip more. Now we're gonna move into some dumbbell RDLs. So one of the main differences between a Romanian deadlift and a stiff leg deadlift is going to be your knee bend. So in a stiff leg deadlift, obviously, your legs are gonna be a little bit more stiff, your knees aren't gonna be as bent, you're gonna hit a little bit more hamstring. With an RDL, you're gonna have more of a knee bend and you're gonna be able to target your glutes a little bit more, so that's what we're going for. You're gonna wanna pretend that you're pushing your butt back to the wall behind you, or like you're trying to close the door behind you with your butt. That's called hinging. So I'll hinge as far as my body allows, and once I can't hinge anymore, then I'll start to get a little knee bend. But we don't want to go too far down because then our back is going to take over. 3 sets of 12 to 15 here. And last thing, make sure that you keep your lats engaged. This is like a common cue that I think a lot of people forget about. But when your lats aren't engaged, it's going to affect your spine. So your upper back is going to be a little bit more rounded when you don't engage your lats. So you want to pretend like there's an orange under your armpit and you're squeezing that orange, keeping your lats engaged, and that's going to keep a nice neutral spine. And on that note, make sure you keep your chin tucked as well. We're ending with some lying hamstring curls, 3 sets of 10 to 12. Make sure with your lying leg curls, you're not arching your back, okay? We want to drive our hips into the pad, keep a posterior pelvic tilt. I like to think about tucking my tail. So instead of having our hips like this, we're going to tuck like this, drive our hips into the pad here. Friday, it is another upper body day. So sometimes I'll kind of alternate. I actually prefer to do my last leg on Fridays, but sometimes I just need that extra day of rest because Monday and Wednesday just completely ruined my legs. And today's one of those days. So I just make sure to listen to my body, and if I feel up for a leg day, I will do it on Friday. Otherwise, I'll just push it to Saturday and kind of flop my days around. Last upper body day was just a full upper, a little bit of everything. This upper body day is gonna be a little bit more back and shoulder focused because I feel like those are the areas that I need to bring up more / are more applicable to building my physique. And we're gonna start off with some pull-ups. I'm just kind of using these to get warmed up prior to moving into my other lifts. I'm just doing like 2 or 3 sets of as many as I can get unassisted. If I'm having trouble, I will move into some assisted pull-ups, but we'll see how we're feeling today. We're gonna do lat pull downs again. I know we did them earlier this week, but one of my all-time favorite back exercises, and it's one that I connect with really well. So we're doing 3 sets of 10 to 12. Moving into our first shoulder exercise, I'm doing dumbbell shoulder press. So I'm doing a pyramid set with these. I almost said pyramid scheme. I'm doing a pyramid set with these. So I'm gonna do 12, 10, 8, and then 6, increasing the weight each set. So I actually just got 15 at 45 pounds, which was supposed to be my 12. So now we're gonna do our 10 rep set. I'm gonna do those with the 50s, but I'll probably get more than 10 reps, so we'll see. Should I go up for my set of 6?
I would.
Okay.
Oh yeah, let's go. Up. Hell yeah. Up. Hell yeah. Come on, Kiri. Up. Up. Let's go. All day. Let's go, Kiri. Show me something. Let's go. Up. Hell yeah. Another one. Let's go. Up. Lock it out. One more. One more. Up. Lock it out. Lock it out. Lock it out. Hell yeah.
Those are a little heavy. Those are a little heavy.
That was sick. Crazy.
Next back exercise, we're going to be doing a single arm row. We're just doing 2 sets of 8 to 10 each arm. I'm tucking myself away in this little corner. We're doing lateral raises. I did them on the machine earlier this week, so I'm gonna do dumbbell this week. 3 sets of 12 to 15. Sometimes my traps will just take over like crazy. Cues that I like to use to make sure that that doesn't happen. I like to pretend that I'm bringing my wrists to the walls beside me. Also, don't go too high or else you're gonna be kind of shrugging the weight up and engaging those traps. You can also keep like a slight elbow bend. You don't wanna be completely, but yeah, those are my 2 main cues other than just having mind muscle connection and really just thinking about the delts doing the work. Okay, last back exercise. These are gonna be some straight arm rope lat pull downs. Same kind of principle as with the other back exercises. You wanna imagine that you're driving your elbows to your armpits. The only difference is that your arms are gonna be more straight than they would be in a traditional like seated lat pull down. I like to stand a bit further back and then hinge a little bit. And remember, your arms are relatively straight and you're just driving your elbows down. Doing 3 sets of 15. I love these because of the stretch that you get on the way up in your lats. It's amazing. Last exercise we're doing is for the shoulders, so we're doing some dumbbell rear delt flies. I like to do them chest supported, so you can grab an incline bench, and you don't really need super heavy dumbbells because your rear delt's a super tiny muscle. It doesn't take a lot of weight to stimulate it. 3 sets of 15. And then that is it for the upper body portion of this workout. But I do have some core stuff from my PT that I have to do. So I'm gonna do that and then my cardio. I just filmed this entire intro and I wasn't recording with my mics. Happy Saturday, happy leg day. We're hitting a full leg day today. So we're hitting a little bit of everything. I love all my leg days equally, but I will say after a full week of kind of focusing on different muscle groups and really targeting in, I like to end the week by hitting a little bit of everything. I don't know, it's a good way to end the week. Maybe I'm weird. If you can't tell, I am at a new gym today. This is a gym in the area that like we'll come to sometimes, but we don't really come often. It's like 30 minutes away and it has really great equipment. Sometimes it'll just get really cold here, so I don't like to train here in the winter. We're starting off with leg extensions, 3 sets of 15. We're gonna do these the same way that you saw me do them earlier this week. I have the seat pushed as far back as it can go, and I'm just going to lean all the way back, get that good stretch in the belly of my quads. I love trying new gyms, but I also hate getting out of my routine with the equipment that I normally use, if that makes sense. So my gym, I don't use a plate loaded leg extension like this. I'll use the like machine stack loaded one, but we make do with what we got. We are moving into our main compound, which is Smith machine squats. We're doing 2 sets, that's it. But we're staying in the 8 to 10 rep range. There's a lot more that goes into squatting than people realize. Like there's a lot of different cues that you have to remember, which is why, even though it's a basic, it's still so challenging. My 2 main cues that help me, you're gonna pretend like there is a crack in between your feet on the floor, and you are using your feet to spread open that crack or spread the floor, which is going to help externally rotate your hips. You can also imagine that rather than pushing the bar up, you are pushing the floor away from you, and that really helps with your drive. I've just noticed I'm a lot stronger when I have that cue going on in my head. Other than that, we want to make sure that we have a nice tight core, engaged lats. Feet are going to be about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit more narrow for me because I'm trying to emphasize the quads a bit more, and I'm more comfortable with a more narrow stance. But truly, it's whatever's most comfortable for you and your own anatomy. Nobody's squat is going to look the same. I I just remember that this gym has this machine. This is the Pit Shark machine. One of my all-time favorite things ever because it's so versatile. Doing RDLs on the Pit Shark is my favorite variation of RDLs ever. So if you have a belt squat machine of any sort that allows you to do RDLs, I highly recommend trying it. We're doing 3 sets of 12 to 15 again. Same cues I gave you guys on Wednesday. With these, you can grab like a straight bar, or you can grab a close grip, like neutral grip bar, and really just like personal preference. This was the only bar that they had open, so I took it. The name of this room cracked me up. I had to film it. I know I just said this about like the last machine, but for hip thrust, this is one of my all-time favorite machines right next to the Booty Builder hip thrust. Doing 3 sets of 15, so higher reps here. Going a little bit lighter, higher reps, focusing on the mind-muscle connection and that squeeze. I already did like a heavier hip thrust set rep scheme this week. I'm going a little bit out of order here. I'm supposed to do single leg ham curls next, but it's being used, so we're just gonna jump into our next thing. Normally I don't do that. I highly advise against jumping around your workout because your workouts are laid out a specific way for a reason. But when it's just your accessory work at the end of a workout, I tend to be a little bit more lenient about that. Like I don't mind switching around a couple things, but like for this workout, I had leg extensions and then I had Smith machine squats. But let's say the Smith machine was taken, I wouldn't jump into RDLs and then come back to Smith machine squats because the Smith machine squats were my main compound where I was going the heaviest. So I'm not gonna exhaust myself or tire myself out by doing other exercises prior to that. However, since we're at the end of our workout, we got done with the squats and the RDLs and the hip thrusts and all of like our main kind of compound things, and now we're moving into our accessories. It's okay to kind of switch them around if you have to. I still would prefer to do the hamstring curls prior to adductions, but it is what it is. I'm only doing 2 sets of 12 to 15 here. You can tell I like the 12 to 15 rep range. If I could go back and tell myself anything, I would tell myself to not skip adductions because it's not something that you really think about when you think about like leg days. Like you think about quads, hamstrings, glutes, even calves before you think about adductions. And I feel like abductions are included in glute days. So adductions are super, super important to creating a really nice full looking package with your legs, especially as a competitor. In my back pose, my adductors popping just makes it look so much better than having underdeveloped adductors. So something I wish I could tell myself to go back and make sure I do, because I did neglect them, but we're here now and we're doing them at least once a week, at least once a week. Now, single leg hamstring curls, 2 sets of 10 to 12. Last exercise, we're doing some calves because we don't skip calves. This is one of my all-time favorite variations of calf raises. I feel it the most, I think. My home gym doesn't have this calf raise machine, but this is the donkey calf raise machine, and it looks really funny. I tried to mimic these at my gym with like a plate on my back, so I'd have John put like a plate on my low back, but it wasn't enough weight and it just kind of didn't feel good having a big metal plate on my back. I think I forgot to tell you a rep range. You can probably guess it. 12 to 15, 3 sets. All right, guys, I was editing this YouTube video and I realized that I never filmed an outro. As usual, we should be used to this by now, but thank you guys so much for watching. I had so much fun filming this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like and comment down below. Also, let me know what you want to see next. Let me know if you want to see another one of these, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. As always, I will put the handle on the screen, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.